For many Nigerians, the year 2024 has been fraught with financial struggles amidst the consistently rising cost of food product and transportation. This in turn has caused a ripple effect that increased the cost of living, especially food prices. The situation began when President Bola Tinubu removed the fuel subsidy in 2023, which led to an immediate and dramatic spike in fuel prices. Since then, the Nigerian government has implemented several initiatives to alleviate the harsh realities of those reforms and help return the economy to a more stable state. Now, in this next report, TV360's Joy Ushejim highlights the policies that impacted Nigeria's economy in 2024.
The Nigerian economy has continued to feel the ripple effects of the fuel subsidy removal. For years, the subsidy kept petrol prices artificially low at great cost to the nation's economy. However, in 2023, President Tinubu's administration finally eliminated the subsidy. By the evening of May 29, 2023, the price of petrol had risen to 500 naira per litre, up from around 198 naira or slightly more in some areas. Then in September 2024, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited raised petrol prices nationwide to over 855 naira per litre, citing severe financial challenges. This led to a substantial increase in transportation costs, as well as the prices of food items, goods, and services.
Based on that, everything have went up. So I have to do budget, and sometimes some of my customers do come. They usually complain that, "Oga, what I bought here last week is more higher than what I'm getting now." But we that went to the market is as the same thing we feel too. That is what we are feeling too, like the same thing. When we go to the market today, I can buy this thing for five naira. If I go next week, I can get it for like 20 naira. In fact, 15 naira gone save.
It really affects us because with them, as you see my shop, I used to fill my shop. If you use like 2 million naira, you fill the whole shop. But now, if you 10 million naira, you not use 10 million to buy anything.
It's not funny. Like last 2 weeks, I came to market to buy groundnut oil. It was 11,000. I came last week, it was 10,000, and this week is 14,500. I don't know how we are going to cope in this regime. I don't just get it.
Amid these challenges, the Dangote refinery emerged as a beacon of hope for Nigerians. With a capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, the refinery finally commenced operations this year. This marked a significant milestone for Nigeria, as it now had access to domestically refined petroleum products, reducing the country's long-standing reliance on imported oil. It raised hopes among Nigerians that petrol prices would decrease.
Have a situation where you might find one that is selling where you don't have much queue, but the price is, it's way above what the general person on the streets can. Because as at now, there's spend in the land. You don't know where to get this product from. Considering the fact that not only do we use it for mobility, but a number of us also use it in our homes to power up when power supply goes bad. And a lot of people also use it for their businesses too. So it's coming at the right time, and congratulations to Dangote Refinery.
Payments to Nigeria is about 1,117 naira per litre. That's what it costs NNPC to bring petrol to Nigeria. But if Dangote coming on stream supposed to reduce that procurement costs from 1,117 naira. That's eliminating the importation cost, the cost of logistics. So it's going to reduce the cost of importation, but it's not going to actually reduce the pump price because NNPC have fixed this pump price below their landing cost of petrol.
Sadly, fuel prices remained largely unchanged despite the opening of the Dangote refinery. In a bid to address the rising cost of fuel and transportation, President Tinubu's administration launched the Compressed Natural Gas (CNG) initiative. This intervention, which the government said is aimed at providing relief to Nigerians by promoting alternative fuel subsidies, was described by experts as long overdue.
It's actually strategic economically as a result of lower costs of transportation. Nigerians will be able to transport, themselves from one place to another on a lower cost of transportation, which is just like an alternative means of transportation, especially mass transportation in Nigeria. So lowering the cost will also help to lower some cost of goods and services. But how many Nigerians can actually, take advantage of this? Just 8 buses. I'm sure 8 buses is not enough for even one state, not to talk of the whole nation. So I think just from what the president says, this is the first phase. So we'll continue to look up to the other, phases as these buses will be coming in.
Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves increased from $32.9 billion at the end of 2023 to more than $38.8 billion by mid-October 2024. Cardoso discussed these significant improvements, noting that the reserves grew by 12.74%, reaching $39.12 billion by October 2024. He highlighted that these reserves are now enough to cover over 12 months of imports, far exceeding international benchmarks.
The current account surplus has strengthened consistently in the past 3 quarters, recording a surplus of $6.06 billion in third quarter 2024. This positive trend is largely attributable to a favorable trade balance driven by increased remittance inflows and decline in imports.
Nigeria's economy grew by 3.46% in the third quarter of 2024, with output reaching 20.115 trillion naira, up from 3.19% in the second quarter of 2024. The growth was primarily driven by non-oil sector, according to the Central Bank of Nigeria's economic growth for the third quarter of 2024.
Well, I don't see what value I've added for the average Nigeria, but what is telling the average Nigeria is that some of the reforms of the government is working. You need to be patient based on this report, and so the value will come, but it will take time. That's what this report is just saying. Because when you look at the report holistically, you have to sometimes ask yourself whether this report is truly a true reflection of what is happening in the country. So for the average man, it's still same of same, because the only thing they saw this report said that the unemployment rate has come down. But again, you remember that they have changed the employment rate, which used to be about the highest before, but they changed the parameters intended to calculate the unemployment rate, and they say anybody that can earn a living is considered employed.
In another significant development towards the end of the year, the Tinubu-led administration introduced a series of tax reforms. According to the presidency, these reforms aim to radically transform Nigeria's tax administration for greater efficiency. The 4 proposed tax reform bills passed a second reading in the Senate but sparked controversy, with some stakeholders in the country rejecting the bills and describing them as anti-democratic.
This is a law, and the derivation principle with the VAT and the other reforms that is coming with the other tax bills. What's going to happen is that those huge revenues coming from what we'll call sin consumption, those ones will now have to come to the states that do not consider it sin, and it forms part of the reasons why northern Nigeria, especially northern governors, are clamoring to the high heavens.
% of what we have before goes to the state. 50% of what the state get before is by population, while we have the other percentage by derivation and the other percentage by equal sharing. So the impact of this is that 50% by population would likely will go down.
As 2024 comes to a close, Nigeria's economy is preparing for the next phase in 2025. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, projects that Nigeria's economy will expand by 3.2% in the coming year, while inflation is expected to decrease to 25%. In response, President Bola Tinubu has presented a 47.90 trillion naira 2025 budget of restoration to the National Assembly, assuring Nigerians that his government will take measures to reduce inflation to 15% in the coming year. Joy Uchejim, TV360, Lagos.